Okay. All right. What's going on, boys? Today we're going to be talking about a game that I had with one of my teammates, Veswa, where we dropped 73 kills in a top 500 game on Starlord, and I wanted to kind of go through with you guys and explain my thought process and like what I'm thinking and how I'm able to perform so well in this character in such high-level lobbies and in pro play. So let's get fucking started, shall we? Say hi, chat. All right, so the draft doesn't matter; it's just ranked. So the most important thing I want to say with Starlord, and I tell this to Vespa like halfway through this game, but if you can secure a Magneto on your team, you're going to be able to do 10 times more of what you normally can because this character is so reliant on bubble spinning, which is essentially where your Magneto bubbles you, you fly in the middle of your team, and then you spin. And what this does is it creates a ton of pressure, you're doing a ton of damage to the enemy team, and you're also going to farm your ult, and because you have the most important, not the most important, but one of the most impactful ults in the game, this is like really, really, really important to the character's success, essentially. So we're just going to watch at 2x speed until something important happens. But for the most part, I'm just going to be sitting main with my team because I can't angle against anything that they're playing. If I flank as this character, you'll notice I don't have anything that can sustain me through walls like Luna or even Ultron to some extent. And I always lose the side fight to Psylocke. And if she ever comes to match any lane that I go to, I will die immediately. So you have to sack with your team depending on what they're playing. But Starlord in general just doesn't really win 1v1s. He has his good matchups like every other hero, but like a lot of the side fighters like Psylocke, you have a really hard time into. Hela, you can't play into. Namor, you can't really play into. So just keep that in mind. Here I'm marking Ultron trolls, so we just regroup main, and we just stay sack with our team, and we just keep shooting. There's not really a lot that goes on for the first part of this game. Tyler goes top left, and so the reason that I'm able to fly at him here is because my team is right here, and I have both my kick flips. And something that's like really, really important when you're playing in the Psylocke matchup is you have to understand every single time that you look at a Psylocke, they will most likely right-click you. And as Starlord, it's really, really, really important that you try to kickflip that. Now here, I was slow, and I didn't kickflip the initial portion, but I did kickflip the return damage, so I didn't take as much damage as I could have. And if I didn't do that, I probably would have died here. Because you can see I dropped to like 80, that would have been like an additional 50, and there's like a very, very high chance I could have died there from the return damage. So just keep that in mind. If you can kickflip the initial thing, she also doesn't get shields, and it actually makes this matchup a little bit playable if your aim is really, really good. And you'll see here I get linked, and so because I get soul linked, this gives me the tankiness to actually fly into their team and spin. But unfortunately, I fly too far out of the Atom's radius, which makes the link drop because there's a range attached to it. But it doesn't really matter because we have all the space. And they can't really punish me for doing anything. Oh, this gave me a heart attack, bro. Y'all know how I feel about getting froze across the map. Holy shit. If y'all have seen my Twitter clips. Alright, more of the same thing. We're just sacking main. Here's the first ult fight. Okay, so with Starlord, you have two ways of using your ult. You have the starter, and you have the finisher. In the starter, you are using your Starlord ult first. You're using it to blow or to burn a bunch of cooldowns. And you're giving your team an advantage in the fight because you're going to be forcing Loki Lamps, Atom's Soul Link, Luna's Clap and her Snowball, like every support cooldown that you possibly can. And probably an ultimate as well. There have been plenty of times where I've ulted as Starlord, and probably that you're going to see in this VOD, I can't really remember exactly, but where I ult, and the enemy team will mag ult, and Luna ult, and Loki Lamp all at the same time, because of how lethal this ult is, especially if you're damage boosted. So, if you're doing an Ender ult or a finisher, you're basically waiting for every single ult and cooldown to be gone, and then you press your ult. And depending on the situation, determines on which one you're going to use. Like here, because my Mantis decided to go first, and I don't have my ult quite yet, it means that I want to wait as long as possible to use my ult here to clean up everybody. No glaze, but you should do a Starlord movement guide. No one be moving like you. Thanks, Finny. Yeah, I can. So basically to explain with Starlord how you like move really well is whenever you do your kickflip, you get stuck in that animation, right, where you're like you're moving to the side or like backwards or forward or something, and you're like locked in that animation, and it makes it really easy for people to predict where you're going. So immediately out of that, you want to use your boosters to like make yourself unpredictable to get out of that like locked frame. It's kind of like jumping in Overwatch, where if you're jumping, it makes it extremely easy to hit your head, or you in general, because your arc is extremely predictable, because you can't like, you don't have a lot of control of your movement in the air. But with Starlord, if I go in that jump motion with my kickflip, I could just jetpack to that way, or jetpack up, or jetpack down. Of course I'm still alive, Jess. I'm dedicated. And then here you'll see I pop my ult. And the reason I pop my ult here is because I know that their backline is going to be out in open space. I'm going to have a long line of sight, and it's going to be extremely hard for them to deal with me. And even if I ult here, if I get anything out, like this mag ult, for example, there's still a chance I get a kill and they'll get the mag ult out. So you'll see, I would have killed the Luna if my team gave a shit about me and didn't hate my entire existence. But it's still a good play for me because I would have killed the Luna if my team just swang and helped me. And by swang, I mean like, my supports here. I'll even rewind it to give you guys an example of like what I was talking about. So here when I'm ulting, you see how my supports are just AFK fucking jerking off in the back line, having a threesome back here by the campfire, while I'm sitting here fighting for my life trying to kill their whole team? Like, bro, like, you see what I'm saying? All three of them are like, hold on guys, we can't peek. I know their mag is ulting, but fuck our Starlord. Like, it's just, whatever. You guys get the point. My play is good. My play is good. It's fine. Pretty sure we have Soul Link too. Yes, we have Soul Link. So we can just Soul Link the mag ult, worst case scenario, and nobody dies. I'm not naked, bro. Alright, so I just use my self-res, and then we go from there. We link, kite the Punisher ult, force this guy off high ground, mark the Venom, and then I can just fly away from the Punisher and kite him. And then here, there's not that much to talk about. I'm just spinning because there's 6 people stacked on me. And my team just loses the ult fight because we didn't walk with me. And then there I just have to touch so I die. But it happens. Team is soloing for a bit. Actually... Okay, no. My ult here was horrible. Don't ult like this. This ult is terrible. So I ult out here to break the choke, but this was miscommunication between me and my Sue. If either one of us ults here, it's good. Either one. Because it secures the fight. And it breaks this choke, and it means that they don't get the positional advantage. This Venom could stall for a while. His Ultron could heal him. He has his full shields up, and this could give them enough time to recontest. So what our ults do is it guarantees that they will lose the fight, but because we stack them, it's an overcommitment when we don't have the ults that we need for next fight. Ideally, it's just me, because what I want to do is I want to Starlord ult, and then when I ult, it means that later on, when our Sue is ulting, I can build my ult again in the Sue ult because I can play hyper aggressive and spin as aggressive as I want because I'm invincible in the ult. And then if you'll notice, they have 4 ults coming online and we don't have anything to deal with it. Like if we had the Sue ult here for this Punisher ult or this Psylocke ult, we might have a champ. And so here they just pop that, and then the fight's pretty much over. And they damage boost him too with the Lunatrank. What am I looking at right now? 7-3, not bad. Got fucking like 68 more to go. Alright, the rest of this retake, there's not that much to talk about. You pretty much just want to regroup with your team. Again, because I'm playing against Psylocke in particular, I can't really flank or look for like an off angle here. Because I always lose that 1v1, and if he ever comes to match me, I just die. So you have to regroup with your team in the neutral, but they just have an ult advantage, so they stuff us back in the choke and our Bucky feeds. But here this is good. I was able to break the choke. I didn't get caught out with the rest of my team. And the difference is between here, if the Psylocke comes and marks me, I'm really close to 2 different health packs that I can play around, and my team can also see me as well. I'm an LOS of my supports if necessary. And I'm also providing an off angles where I can shoot this Venom, so there's damage coming from multiple sources, so it's harder for him to deal with. If I was with my team here, he's not getting shot at the back, he's taking less damage, which means he can hold the choke for longer, which is bad for us. Yeah, comment the meal you guys are eating while watching this vid. So here's like a really, really important detail as well that I think is really, really important. A lot of the time on Starlord, you will be playing with a Mantis because you're going to be playing with Adam. But in the case that you aren't, even so, if you're playing with the Cloak or with the Luna or basically anything that isn't Sue, because Sue's ult doesn't move, you should always, always, always go backline. And you just reach, 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 reach. You fly backline and you spin in the middle of your team, and you just burn their resources. Alright, in the pre-fight, really important that you posture up as close as you possibly can so you can shoot them as they're walking in. And that allows you to farm your ult a lot faster. Here, there's two flanking on the left side, so I look at them, give them attention so they can't just take over the game, but I'm kind of limited by my range. And when their Venom goes in, that's when I pop my ult. Because after the Venom has committed, it means that their team's going to be walking up. And when I pop my ult here first, I know that they're closing on their Luna Trank very soon. And their Ultron, I think, also has his ult. So what I want to do is I want to try to pop my ult and kill their Ultron or their Luna before they finish their ults or get their ults off. And if I don't succeed in either of those, at least I traded my ult for all of their cooldowns plus a support ult, which is always worth. Because then my supports have support ult advantage, and then I can farm my ult again in my support ult's ult. So it means that my second ult will come online before their support ult, which is what you're seeing right here. And then here's another instance of my team hating me, wanting me to die, and me being fat and ugly and stupid, I guess. Not really, but my team just doesn't walk or look at me. But the play is correct. My Adam just doesn't even look at me. He just doesn't posture to like snap me or anything like that. But as you can see, if he did play that correctly and healed me, and my team walked with me, and my tanks were, oh my god, and my tanks were like postured correctly, I'm Thanos right now. I'm like actually Superman lasering noobs from the sky. And I will kill everybody and force a trank. Like this Ultron is dead to rights right here if my team is walking. So my ult is good. The play is good. If you do that most of the time and your team heals you, you will win the game. Alright, let me go back to the recontest a little bit. Because I think I self-res. Yeah, I do. Oh, this is just really tragic. I remember this. So many of them lived with 1 HP. There's not really a lot that I can do here now. I can't overextend. I don't have mag to reach. I don't have a support ult. Psylocke is there, so I have to run immediately. You just never want to fight Psylocke as Starlord. It's unplayable for you. And then we Atom Res, and then look. We Mantis Rally out of the choke to break the choke. And then once we do that, I go and swing back line. And then that forces their Luna ult. Oh yeah, no. Every single ult that I called here, I told my team before, and then I'm going to ult. So you might notice as well with this Punisher, I'm like really, really nervous to push this Punisher like this because I don't know, like if this is a good player and he doesn't play this like a donkey, he pulls out his shotgun and he third person peeks me right here. If I fly at him like this, there's a very, very high chance that I lose this. So just keep in mind, like when you're playing mobility heroes like this, you have to think about like when you can engage on an advantage. Like you need some type of, if you're playing in a matchup like this, like Punisher close range with a shotgun, I have the chance to kill him if he's horrible, but against good players who are jiggle peeking this, I will get 2-tapped and die. And his passive, of course. Yeah, that's a good shout, Dubsy. His passive lets him see through walls when he damages you. And so I end up killing him here because I see my Luna like drop and push him. Like right here, he starts shooting my Luna. So this is like the go-ahead for me that I can drop and fight this guy. Which I would have killed him instantly, but the Psylocke came and marked me as well, so I died. Yeah, and he has the health back there as well. Alright, so something I wanna note as well in Starlord is if you're playing against dive characters, your character is really, really, really good at giving Venom and Cap and Hulk a lot of pressure. And so what you can do is if they ever go in, like here, because my Atom is pre-fighted, the fight is already lost, there's no point in me staying frontline. I just need to get this Venom out of our backline as fast as possible and help my team. and then we take space together, because if I try to hold this space while this guy is in my backline distracting my supports, I'll get ran over. What's up, Gabe? Okay, this is AIDS. I hate it when this happens. I'm pretty sure I just get right-clicked, right? Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing I can do there. Well, I should have sat and spawned a little longer, to be fair. I should have sat and spawned and waited for my Mantis, but we stacked support ults here, which is obviously horrible for my supports. I trolled my passive res, but you can still see when we Mantis ult, I'm still reaching backline extremely hard. Reach the Luna, and now I have to kite the Punisher. And then here, they're going to cap anyways. We're going to lose the fight guaranteed because we stack support ults. And so I just try to make a hero play with my ult, but there's just like no chance of this ever working. Because I have no heals, everyone just LOSs and shoots me, and then they cap. So, but it was like an okay round. Not ideal. If I got more care in my ults, I think we would have held second a little bit stronger, and maybe first as well. But the boys start to make some adjustments. It took us some time to figure it out here, but this is a really good sleep for my Mantis. That noob dies. And then we're going to walk forward here in a second because we pick somebody. And you'll see normally, like when we get to the Magneto portion, the gameplay is going to be completely different. I'm going to have like a lot more uptime. But ideally you're playing Starlord with Mag or even Thing, because Thing can give you the DR and you can just run into their team right there and spin and farm your ult and do like a ton of damage. Oh yeah, that's a good comment, Dubsy. So the Adam res comp, or the Guardians is what you'll see it, or sorry, Guardians, what you'll hear it referred to as a lot of the time as well, is where you play Adam Warlock, Starlord, and Mantis together. And the reason they're so strong together is because Adam Warlock has a passive where whenever he dies, he can self-res, and he can choose where he reses, and this is obviously extremely strong to have a res on demand, and the team up allows him to share that res with Mantis and Starlord. So essentially you have half of your team that has an extra life on a 2-minute cooldown in Starlord and Adam's case, or Starlord and Mantis' case. And on Adam's, I think it's a 100-second cooldown. So relatively often, not super often, but it's a very, very strong ability. And there have been so many fights where I have died, I have rezzed, I have died again, and my Adam has used his ult to res me again. And having 3 lives is super, super, super strong. And it's probably the strongest team up in the game, like I was saying, except for like maybe Storm Jeff. Or like the Punisher Rocket one in the past, but it's very, very, very good, and you should look to play these characters together as much as possible, because individually they're much weaker. Like Adam is way weaker without Mantis or Starlord. Mantis is much weaker without Starlord or Adam, unless you're playing with Black Widow. And Starlord is much weaker without Adam with the self-res, just because he wants to be playing really fast, really aggressive. And there's just a lot of heroes in the game that can shut him down, but that extra res allows him to keep up the tempo and keep pressuring and really farm up his ult a lot faster and just like really play at the pace that he wants to. So but that's a good shout, Dubsy. I hope that makes sense. Mantis damage boost. Oh yeah, Mantis damage boost with Starlord ults as well is really important because it allows you to one-clip people from any range. If you don't have it, they'll be left with 10 HP. There's a lot of times where that person has lived, or target has lived, and has gotten a trank off or gotten around a corner. That was a key target that I could have killed, but I wasn't able to because my Mantis didn't damage boost me. So keep that in mind as well. Like Mantis and Starlord also have like that innate synergy too. But you'll see here, this is what you're want to be looking like. We finally have Magneto, or sorry, we finally have Magneto here. And so because I have Magneto, like look at what I'm able to do and the pressure I'm able to exert. And if you look at this from their perspective, like look at how many people I have looking at me. I have every single player in the game looking at me right now, which is so important for my team, because if they're looking at me, they're not looking at my team, which means my team is free to do whatever they want. And because your hitbox is so hard to hit, they're not even doing any damage, so it's just like massive space creator that's coming from a DPS. And it also farms me a ton of ult charge. Hit a Psylocke over reaches when it's not his turn, and then we just run them down and kill them. Alright, fast forwarding to the second point. Punisher ult, obviously we want to leave. There's nothing to really talk about here. I'm just playing the game, stacking with my team, because again, I can't off-angle against Psylocke. And here, bubble spin, Psylocke ults. So an important thing as well, guys, that you want to do is whenever Psylocke ults, please stack. Please get in the habit of stacking. You will increase your team's chances of living tenfold if all of you just run to the Psylocke and stack together. And then I don't know why my Cloak doesn't ult forward one more time. If he did, I could run in and I could look for something, but I have to stay a little bit further back and stack with my team because all the damage is coming from one lane. The Bucky dives in, eats my bubble that I want to use for my bubble spin, and just, at least he forces the Trank at the very least. And Vest was fucking LeBron James. And Kobe's that guy out of the air, but doesn't get care, but it's fine. And here I was looking to ult, but because we use both support ults, I just decided to push forward, and then we're going to spin backline. Really, really important we spin backline, and then I ult to secure. So the difference between this ult, this was a finisher ult, and the ult that I had, I think it was second point. No, maybe not, but this is an example of a finisher ult, essentially. If you have an opener, you're going to use it at the start of a fight to like burn all the cooldowns, but here I waited till all the cooldowns were down. I didn't stack it with my Mantis, I didn't stack it with my Atom, I waited for their Tranks to be over, and when I was absolutely certain that they had nothing to stop me from doing it, I ripped it, and then the fight's over. They just can't do anything because I'm flying laser beam. Okay, that guy just runs it. That's fire. Well played, bro. Nothing to really talk about. I just want to be sitting with my team, farming my ult as fast as possible. Whenever they make contact, I want to look for bubble spin. So an important concept to understand as well is contact on Starlord, and when you're looking for your bubble spin. So I don't want to bubble spin all the way over here, like on this Luna or back here. Some of the one of the most important things, is that when you are bubble spinning, you want to be able to conserve as much jet fuel as possible and when you do it, because if you are ascending and dropping and ascending and dropping to manipulate your hitbox while you're spinning, or if you're just straight ascending, either one doesn't matter, it makes you harder to hit and you can stay in longer, and ideally you want to stay in for your max bubble, your max spin duration, because it's going to mean that people are looking at you for the longest period of time. Now, if you have to reach and use all of your jets to get over here, not only are you really far away from your team and it's going to be harder for your team to help you, but it's also going to take you, it's going to be really hard for you to get back without dying because there's so much space for you to get back to. And also, it's likely that you're not even going to have the jets to get back as well, depending on how far you go. So when I say wait for contact, it means that their team has to stop the cart under every circumstance. Like, they have to stop us from pushing it, which means they're going to walk up to this corner, and when they do, that's when it's safe for me to bubble spin, because my team can help me, the distance is closer, and I won't... Also, you could go out of your max bubble range too if you're not careful as well, so that's also an important factor. But here, once they bubble spin a little bit more clumped, I spin, we walk forward, we get the kill, and I can stay in because we get this kill. They punish her ult, so we kite, run away. Adam soul links, he doesn't have to, but he does, it's fine. Or we're just gonna chill. And once this is over, I tell Vest to bubble. We bubble spin, I don't reach too far, I get the whole team to look at me. And then I kite back. Cloak ults, we force out Venom so he's out of our backline, and then we walk together as a team. And now because I don't have any jets, I don't reach, I just want to farm my ults as fast as possible now. So unfortunately, our Mantis out of his ult right here. If he doesn't, we could just reach their backline here after the Luna Tranks and like the fight's over. It's 1000% over if my Mantis and Adam don't die here. The Luna Trank is ending. The Mantis gives us movement speed. I speed at their backline. I spin. I ult. They're all dead. Their Venom just made a good play, unfortunately, so that doesn't happen. But here, I still try to make it work. They have Mag ult, and this is a mistake from me. So what I do that's bad is because 2 of my players just died, they have to back up and res. And when they're resing, they obviously can't help me. And also, they get Psylocke ulted whenever I Starlord ult, which means that my backline is occupied with this, which means that they can't help me. Like, look at the distance I have between me and my backline. This ult for me is good. The timing is fine. But the distance of where I am is terrible. I need to kite this way towards my team. But even if I did that, it probably doesn't matter because they're still dead to Psylocke ult. So this is just a good play from their Psylocke. You could argue that I should have held it. But I think it's like the timing is fine. I think the Psylocke just made a good play. What was really important is that our Mantis Tensa died to the Venom Chomp, which is also a good play from their Venom. Ignore the fact that I just completely missed this mag being pulled into my team. I'm just trolling. Ignore that. Was Luna damage boosted, boosting the Venom ult, and that's why Mantis died? No, I think Mantis was just low. Let me double check. I think he just waited too long to pop it. That's what it looks like. But maybe. Oh, no. She did. Yeah. But even with this combo, I wonder... So normally the... Okay, yeah. Normally the Chomp doesn't kill if you do Chomp and the Tendrils pop. I think... No, it does with damage boost. Sorry, yeah. No, it's just because the Luna damage boost him. That's 100% why. At least it should be. Because I don't think the Tendrils hit the Bucky, did they? No, they didn't. Yeah, okay. Sorry, a little side tangent, but I was curious. Alright, moving on. So again, the neutral is the same. I want to reach with Bubble Spin, get their whole team to look at me, and then kickflip out to this high ground. Another really important thing with Starlord, guys, that you have to be doing every single time is after, and I mean after every single spin, kickflip out of it. It'll cancel this awkward animation, and especially if you want to fly away, it is so important that you don't get stuck in the slow animation. Like, if you play Starlord at all, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you spin while you're flying and you don't cancel your flight while you're spinning, you'll get stuck in this slow animation where he like puts his guns to the side and he's slowed down and eats all of your jets and you don't go anywhere, and it's awful and it sucks. And you never want that to happen. So always cancel it with a kickflip. Always. Bubble spin, Venom goes in. I want to clear the Venom out of my backline before I do anything. Because if I try to shoot like or do anything while this guy's in my backline, I won't be able to get help. But unfortunately, our Bucky and Mag got picked while we were doing that, so. And you'll notice, like, I'm playing pretty well overall. But sometimes you're just going to die in this game, and sometimes your team's just going to lose, so. If you're ever in a situation where you just can't seem to cap, just understand, like, if it's your fault, if it's not, or if your character is good or not. Like here, I can clear the Psylocke because I'm in my team's LOS, and it's a 2v2. It's arguably like a 4v2 because my team can see me, and my other DPS comes and helps me push this out. Or I think it was my Adam. Doesn't matter, but this is really important we clear this out. If we ignore this and we try walking main, our supports will just get back shots and die to this angle, so make sure that you're clearing space as much as you can. So we force them back main so all the threats are in front of us and not surrounding us. Okay, here's an example of an opener ult. So I hit tab, I see that my team has every ult, I know that their team has Trank. And so what I'm doing here is I'm going to try to ult, and I also think they have Mag ult, which I see now that they don't, but at the time I was thinking, okay, I want to try to get Mag Luna out here, and then after that I'm going to farm my ult off of our Adam Res and our Mantis. So we were successful in getting the Luna ult out, and now we just have to kite. Unfortunately, like my Cloak, what he should have done is he should have waited. If you're a support player watching this, anytime a support ult is forced out like this, greed your ult as long as fucking possible. You have to be the greediest motherfucker alive, okay? If this guy waited the full, let's see if we actually even needed to Trank. Like here, we're all full HP, we're soul linked, they're Luna's tranking. If this guy, and just so we're clear, Trank is just a colloquial term used to refer to as a defensive support ultimate, and it's referencing to Zenyatta's ultimate from Overwatch Transcendence. But if our cloak waited, like, he could have waited 5 more seconds, 6, 7, who knows? He could have waited the whole 9, and then we walk in with cloak ult. They have no Luna Trank to sustain the cloak ult, and now because cloak ult is 8 seconds and Luna's is 9, it's basically the same value of time when it didn't have to be. We could have definitely min-maxed it more to be a far better ult. And on top of that, oh wait, no, sorry. Never mind. I was going to talk about my ult, but my ult was fine. And then here you see us chase. We reach. That's what kills the Luna. And every time we Mantis ult, remember to reach. I would have killed this guy, but the mag ults, so I just turn and look because this guy's close to his spawn door. And unfortunately, their Psylocke is able to clean up the rest of our team with our Venom, or with their Venom. So our Adam was mispositioned. If he was in a good spot, he could have looked for a res. He could have hid over here on the right side. Or he could have just played back and played right here, but they mispositioned, and the Cloak's ults was also too early. Yeah, exactly, Dubsy. Exactly. That's a good way to put it. Alright. Same deal. We're going to bubble spin. We could have seen that coming. Get their whole team to look at me. I kick flip out. I run away. And you'll notice immediately, I see that I'm reaching a little bit. I'm stretching. So I immediately run away because I know that my team is dealing with the Venom. And I just have to, like, live. I don't want to take any damage that I have to. If I overextend here and try to stay 1v3, I'm going to die 1000% to the Ultron or to the Squirrel Girl or to the Luna just shooting me. So it's really important that I come back. And this is, like, really good because it forces them away, which means that their Venom can't get healed and their Psylocke gets less care. So overall, it's just a good play for me to come back and to rubber band, essentially. A lot of Starlord is rubber banding, where essentially you're reaching and then you're snapping back to your backline, and then you're reaching and you're snapping back like a rubber band. And then here, unfortunately, my Adam dies again with his res. And then here, my ult is terrible. This is actually just, like, genuinely a bad ult. I should have just waited till last fight, but I remember thinking, okay, I want to try to get this ult off before they get Trank up because I don't want to get lapped. But the spot that I did it in was so bad, no one was alive to support it, so that was just a bad ult for me. See why I did it? Yeah. This is really, really good for my Cloak. We go backline. My Cloak uses her Discord, or her, I forget what it's called, but like the blind thing on the backline for the damage amp, and then we're able to kill him. Yeah, it is a hard decision to make. And then here, I want to mark the top left. The reason this is so important for me to go here is because if I go right here, I'm putting myself in a crossfire of getting hit by the guy who comes. I don't even know who's here, but just game sense wise, I'm thinking someone could be here. I know someone is here, and I know someone's here. So in my head, I'm thinking, if I reach here, I'm going to get killed by these guys over here, crossfired by this guy. And also, this stops them from dropping on my backline and potentially finding a kill, and, like, cheesing their way back in the fight. So this pressure that I'm creating here, I kill the Ultron because he split from his team, and I shut down this lane. Bubble spin on cart. And then here I'm just trying to desperately farm my ult as fast as I can. Okay, so one thing that you'll notice that you could argue that I should have done is I should have stacked in this ult right here. Like, our whole team should have just stacked right here. But the reason I didn't is I didn't know for certain if we were going to live, and I also know that my ult is coming up, and it's so important for, like, in this overtime fight that my ult gets up and it goes off. If I die right here, it's super, 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 super bad, even though I have passive res. And that's why. There it is. And you'll see we're at 42 and 9 so far. With 38k. And you'll see how much my score accelerated whenever I got Mag on my team. That's how important, like, bubbles are to enabling this character and a lot of these different types of comps. And then here we're going to bubble spin again. Kite back because they're bubble spinning and it's just rubber band. So notice a lot of the same patterns over and over and over again, and this is just how you play Starlord. And they link, and they're pushing, so that's my timer. Bubble spin, and I kill that guy. And you'll see that they overextend, and because my bubble spin, I just shred everybody. Yeah, I'm actually going to show you guys the overhead of how much damage I actually do. And you can also look at my ult charge as well. Look at how much, like, how good Starlord is in these situations when he's bubbled. I'm actually spinning on 1, 2, 3, 4, like, almost 6 people at the same time. And because they're all dead, like, even if, like, here you'll notice I kickflip forward instead of backwards to my team. And the reason is because I killed one, I have my passive res, and I'm really confident that I can trade out. Like, I'm just confident in my aim that I can kill one. And it just works out because there's a crossfire here. If they look at me, they'll die from here. And this is just a game sense thing to understand that I can just keep going. And I also have my full jets as well, so I can like speed out and dodge, make my movement really hard to hit, and a bunch of other stuff. So we end up just cleaning up. The Starlord does pierce, Dubsy. It actually is bugged. I think it's still bugged to where if you pierce targets, it does double damage. I'll show you guys in the practice range after this as well. I'm pretty sure it's still bugged though. Here, this is really troll for me. This is really, really troll. Bad jet management. I can't go check that. I don't have any kick flips, and I'm pretty sure I die here. So that was really, really bad for me. But like going up to scout to see where they're coming from is good. I just didn't manage my resources correctly, so that's my fault. So if you E standing on 2 people, standing one in front of the other, it'll do both instances of damage. Yes. So if you have a target here and a target here, and then a straight line and you're spinning, both of them will take double the damage of what they normally would. So if this guy's going to take 50 damage, instead of this guy taking, like both of them taking 50 damage, they both take 100 damage. That's why that spin did so much damage right there, is because they're like constantly stacking with each other from each tick. And you'll see here, this is an opener ult, and I want to use this to get resources out. And notice how confident I am with this guy. I ult under here, and I fly low, because I know that this guy has his ult. If I go too high in the air and I ult, I'm vulnerable, and there's a very, very high chance I could die. But here, I'm right next to my team. All I'm trying to do is bait a cooldown out. And not only do I bait out their Starlord ults, but I also bait their Mantis ult. And I know that this Starlord is isolated because he's ulting in a shitty spot. I'm bubbled, I'm linked, I just run this guy down and kill him because he's in a shitty spot and I'm not. And I just get one shot here. That's just unlucky. Sometimes that happens. My cloak dies out of his ult, unfortunately, because he didn't think about the mag ult. And that happens sometimes. But it's okay, because LeBron Quill is still in the fight. Because passive res is broken. And here you'll see we spin, bubble, get the reset for my Bucky, and now it's just front to back. Just help my team front to back with my Bucky. Explain why I didn't use my Guardian res there? You mean back here? Okay, yeah, just real quickly, because I do want to address that. So here, the reason I didn't res, or why I held it, is because I wanted to make sure that they didn't recontest with the TP, because a very popular strat in high reload games is people will swap to Doctor Strange, walk out of spawn, and they'll teleport, and then they'll get a recontest. So if that did happen, I would have res 1000%, so I could have res. They come out of the TP, I ult, they don't have any support ults, which I know, and then they all die anyways. But the reason why I canceled it after they capped is because I know that I'm just going to spawn back in my spawn room that's like right there. So I'm just min-maxing my, like right here, right? So I'm just min-maxing my time. And because I don't res there, I have my res for here, which is like arguably fight saving because of the amount of pressure I exert right here. Like we're down 1 already, down 2 right now. But because I'm spinning right here and I'm able to secure this cleanup for my Bucky so quickly, and because my Mantis and Adam, like all 3 of us die, all 3 of us res. Like that right there, that fight right there, we should have lost. But because we all have reses, it doesn't matter. Another bubble spin. See, I thought about, like, if I were to fly above the mag shield here, I would hit them. But you'll see I only have half jets when I go for this, and if I'm above them right here and I don't have any jetpacks to get out, they could like burst the bubble, break it, and kill me before I'm able to get out. So that's why I stayed on the ground there. And you'll also notice another thing I was thinking about too is I wanted to kickflip the Sue pull, like right here. I'm thinking this guy wants to pull me back into their team. My team's around the corner. It's really important that I commit both my kickflips here in order to live. And you'll see right here I dodge it. That's why I live. So we pre-fight their Mantis. They res it because they're terrible. And now we just play slow. Go with bubble spin on the right timer. And then here I'm just going to chill with my team in front to back. Except here, this Punisher fucking trolls, and this is a 1v1 I'm confident that I can win, because this guy doesn't have his shotgun jiggle peeking me around a corner. I should have went for the Punisher there, 100% to my left. I didn't see him at the time, but I should have went to kill him before the Atom, because he would have been an easier kill, and then went to Atom, but ends up working out anyways. And then here, this was really bad for me. I should have killed this guy and then waited this ult out. In my head at the time, I thought I had my passive res, and if I had my passive res here, taking the gamble to try to kill the Starlord out of his ult is a decent play. But it's bad because, again, I don't have my passive. And it's really, really important that I live here because I'm 90 to my ult. I should be in the same type of mentality that I was in the overtime when we capped, is that my ult has to go off here for us to win. Especially because we have Cloak ult right now. If I'm alive here, we Cloak ult, I shoot the Mantis because he's close to his ult. We kill the Mantis, I ult, the game is over. And then you'll notice I have a bad ult right here. I round the corner. I should have waited till I was closer with my team before I ulted. Punisher flanks and kills that guy. But it's fine because we end up winning anyways. Again, we want to wait for contact. Don't overextend, don't overreach. Just sit with your team and chill. Farm your ult as fast as possible. So here, they make contact, and because I waited, they're all stacked at the corner. Bubble spin, get everyone to look at me, do a shit ton of damage, farm my ult, kite back. Same shit. Over and over and over again. We Mantis rally, what do you think I'm about to do? Spin backline. Enjoy. It makes so much space, yeah, it's disgusting. So you'll see here, bubble spin, stuff them in the spawn. I have my ult soon. And I land inside of our ults, and you'll notice I ult on the ground in my Cloak ult while this guy's in the air. And I would have killed literally everybody here if we didn't cap. This guy dies right here. And because this guy is going to die soon, and I'll have LOS of my Cloak, or I'll be in the LOS of my Cloak ult. Why is this so slow right now? Oh, it's because they're rounded, but I just want to show you guys an example. Yeah. So here, whenever I Starlord ult, this guy would have died. I would have flown up a little bit, jiggle peek this guy who's by himself that Vest was on. This guy would have died, and then everyone else around here would have died. Maybe their Mantis would have got his ult soon enough, but if he did, I'm still Starlord. If I'm damage boosted as Starlord shooting Mantis, I can actually kill through Rally, especially if my team is forcing... Rally being Mantis' ult, which is like... I didn't realize how many Overwatch references I had, but I can kill through Mantis' ult with Starlord's ult if I'm damage boosted, especially if other people are focusing it. Because it's lower healing than Sue Storm's ult or Luna's ult. This could have been an 80. Yeah, that could have been an 80 bomb if we didn't cap immediately right there. Alright, so at this point in the video, you guys already know what I'm about to say. Like, we're just gonna wait for contact. This is a little bit of a reach from me, a little bit impatient. But it's alright, it ends up working out. Something I was explaining at the beginning of the video too, when Spinny said that my movement was really good. Hashtag delete rig. So you'll notice here, whenever I kickflip, I know that my movement's going to be really predictable and easy to hit. So I kickflip again in order to close more distance, and then after that, I shoot a little bit and then immediately like jiggle to the side and make myself harder to hit. And you'll look from the Punisher's POV how much more cancer this is to hit for him. Like, how is he going to hit that, you know? We'll just slow it down like 0.25 and watch his crosshair. Yeah, enjoy, bro. Enjoy. This is like one above all eternity, by the way. And you'll see here, I actually made the mistake of using too much jets. I want my jets back. Like, I want at least half right now to be able to go in bubble spin, because I don't have enough to like actually walk with it, right? Here, I try to like, I kickflip forward to close distance so I can keep charging my jetpack, and then I kickflip back out and then run away. Yeah, and these are some of the best aimers in the world. And we'll see again what that looks like if you kickflip, and then right after you kickflip, I do this in order to make my movement less predictable and hard to hit, and we'll look from their POV to see what this looks like. See, really hard and unpredictable. It's kind of hard to see because I'm a little bit small and further away. Maybe the Punisher gets a better angle. Yeah. See, there you go. Vessel gets pre-fighted. All good. What's up, Fox? You'll see again, I'm linked. So even though I don't have bubble, it's important to notice that because I have link, I can spin. Did I see the BBP on Clintar? No, I don't think so. I might have actually. Hold on, I'm in the middle of something right now, bro. And because Gasklin, fucking Veswa, God. Because Veswa gets pre-fighted, it means that we have to give up all the space, but you'll notice something here. This is a little risky from me, but I was just confident in my movement that I'd be able to get back to the Trank before him. But the reason I go bottom right instead of kiting back bottom left is it creates an off angle, and it creates pressure to get people to look at me instead of my team, which means it's easier for my team to break this big choke here on the left, which they need to get out of. Now, I don't know if my cloak is going to ult out or not, but even if he does, I could just regroup with him because I'm Starlord and I have a lot of mobility, which is what I do. And their Punisher just throws the game because he does this shit by himself on the right side without being in his ult, the Mantis ult, so. And then here I regroup back with my Mantis because I hear him rally behind me. I don't want to die to the Starlord. If I isolate myself in the back line, he'll just look at me and kill me, especially while his Luna is shanking. And so now I know I'm saying, team, please, please don't die. I have the closer, the finisher. I'm going to Starlord ult and kill everybody. I'm LeBron Quill. Just give me the ball and chill. And guess what happens? I wait, I wait, I wait, I wait, I wait. And then I ult as it ends. And look at that. They all die. And notice Mantis ults. Or Starlord ults. And something that I could have done better is I could have stayed here and camped this res. Now, I could have gotten slept by this Mantis or just insta-kill him. It's hard to say. The reason I chased the Starlord is because I thought I could kill him before he gets to the med pack, but it didn't end up working out. But their Adam just makes a good play in reses, but like the idea of what I'm doing is also really good. Yeah, the Bucky robbed me of finals, yeah. It ends up working out anyways. They have to TP back, but because we have the numbers advantage already and they're staggered out of the res, it doesn't matter. And there we go. Into the game 73-12 with 54,000 damage. Anyways, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, drop a comment. I stream every single day at LightPK on Twitch. Follow my TikTok, Instagram, all LightPK. Instagram is light.pk because some dickhead took the normal way of how I go about it. But yeah, this will be uploaded soon. I hope you guys enjoyed.